What's up you guys, welcome back and welcome if you're new. In today's video we're going to finally be installing the CBI Off-Road front bumper onto my Tacoma. As you guys do know, I just recently installed the front bumper caps to prep it for the front bumper. So if you guys haven't watched that video, make sure to check it out. It's in the description box below. Another thing, as you guys can tell, I'm right here with my good friend Jerry, better known as Beast Fab. Make sure to check him out. His information is always in the description box below in every single video. So what he's going to be doing, he's going to actually be the one installing it. I'm just going to be recording, sitting back, relaxing, drinking a couple beers. I'm just kidding. I'll help him out. But he's the one that's going to be doing the install for today. Just in case you guys do need an installation like this or rear bumper, doesn't matter, fabrication, rock sliders, bed racks, anything like that, make sure to hit him up because he also makes them here in-house. So let's go ahead and now get into the video and we'll show you guys how it's done. Let's do it. So before we actually get into the installation, I'm going to show you guys which bumper I ended up going with. So of course, as you guys do know, I did end up choosing CBI Off-Road. I do have their rear bumper and a couple other products from them. So as you guys can tell, the one that I do have right here is going to be their Adventure series. So if you guys do end up wanting to go ahead and purchase it once it's installed and you guys like the look, it'll be in the description box below along with their other products. For today, we're just going to be installing it onto the truck. As you guys can tell, right here, it does have room for a light bar. It's going to be for a 20-inch light bar. Unfortunately, my diode dynamics is a 30-inch, so I'm going to have to pick up a brand new light bar to put there. And then of course right here is room for a winch, which I'll be doing that down the road. I'm probably going to have Jerry install it as well. Right here I am going to be putting my diode dynamics fog lights. And like I was telling you guys in the beginning of the video, these are the Running for Tacos bumper caps. Cool thing about these, you don't have to cut them or anything like that. They already come pre-cut. You just take off your old bumper and install these brand new ones. And you can also get them color matched like I did. I know it's not 100% color match, but if you guys do want to get those, description box below, I also have a discount code if you guys want to buy those. If you guys did miss that video, make sure to check it out in the description box below. I showed you guys how to uninstall the front bumper and install these bad boys. So first things first, like I just told you guys, we showed you guys in the previous video how to uninstall the bumper and install the bumper caps. So what we have left here is going to be removing this crash bar here, which we'll show you guys how to do. And then of course down here we're going to need to remove this tow hook that's here, and then we're going to need to remove these end caps on both sides, of course, and then this stays there. So if you guys do have Kings, I believe any other brand that has remote reservoirs in this section here, one thing you are going to need to pick up is going to be an extra bracket from CBI Off-Road, which is right there. It still sits in the same place, but it utilizes this bottom section here. So this bracket will be coming off and we'll be putting a brand new bracket there, and then the reservoir will go onto that. You guys will see. What you just saw him do, removing these three here and removing those three there, that's going to be a size 14mm socket to go ahead and remove the front crash bar, as you guys can see it there. After that, what we ended up doing is, you could tell there's three there, and then there's another three back here as well. Those are also a 14mm socket, and then it'll release. For me, as I do have my light bar there, we're going to be a little bit more careful when we bring it down, so I'm going to go ahead and help him out so that way my light bar doesn't come crashing down. So this next step, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be relocating the transmission cooler, which is right here. So CBI Off-Road does actually provide you the hardware for it, so let me show you guys. So these are going to be the relocation brackets, as you guys can tell. So they're flat like this with the hole on each side. There's two of them. There's going to be, of course, two bolts, two washers, and two nuts. So that's what we're going to be utilizing to actually push back the transmission cooler. And I need to remove this end cap. There's going to be a bolt right here at the bottom, so just go ahead and remove that. And of course there's one on this side, which we've already taken off. Now we're going to be removing the tow hook cover, which is on the passenger side. Super easy, just held in with two bolts. Just like that. Now to push this back, first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to notice back here on the passenger side, there's a little bolt there. So you want to go ahead and remove that bolt. Once you remove it, we also need to remove, there's two bolts, which is one there and one on the opposite side right here. So as you can tell, we've now put the mount here. It's going to go like this. So as you can tell, the bracket is facing forward with the hole over here. And all we did was use the bolts that CBI provides. So a bolt washer, and then of course it's the bracket that's on this, and then the bracket that CBI provides. And then at the bottom here is the nut that CBI provides as well. So to give you guys a closer look, there it is. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten this down, and then now we can push this back, line up the hole there, and then we can go ahead and put the next bolt that goes right there, which is the factory one. And then we'll do the same thing to this. You can tell we have the brackets in place. We've now pushed this back. All we used here was the factory bolts that we had taken off, as you can tell. So now all we need to do is go ahead and tighten them down, and then we'll go to the next step. Can't wait. It's going to look freaking awesome. Make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video so we can show you guys how everything looks. And yeah, let's do it. Now that we have this transmission cooler pushed back, it's relocated. Up next, what we're going to be doing is we're now going to remove my King reservoirs right here. So to do so, underneath there's going to be a 5/8 Torx bit or Allen key that's going to go right here. There's going to be 1 and 2 that you have to remove. Removing the reservoirs, and that's of course only if you guys do have remote reservoirs. If you guys don't, you guys can skip that step. So the cool thing about the CBI off-road bumper is you can actually put your stock fog lights on there. You can put aftermarket fog lights on there. It doesn't matter, they make it functional. So let me show you guys. So of course right here I do have just kind of like a regular ditch light pod. So as you guys can tell, that bracket is there. So you can go ahead and mount it right here at the bottom and be done. One thing with these ones though, it might not sit properly. So of course I do have the Dynamics factory fog lights. As you guys can tell, it has like the shading there, and it has the factory style bracket in the back. That's what I'm going to be utilizing, but I have to do something to make this work. Another thing too, I wanted to show you guys. Now if you guys do have just factory fog lights from Toyota, you guys got to get these brackets, which it comes provided. It comes with like nuts and bolts and stuff like that. And just as an example, if this was a stock fog light, it would go something like that. You'd put a bolt through there, and this bottom bracket here would actually sit there. So then your factory fog light would sit properly. As far as for me, since like I said, I do have aftermarket ones, what I'm going to need to do is, as you guys can tell, there's this Dynamics factory fog light bracket. I'm going to need to remove it. There's an Allen key here, Allen key here. I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to actually be utilizing these ditch light brackets that I have here. So I'm going to remove it there and there, and I'm going to transfer that bracket onto this fog light, and then we'll insert. You guys will see what I'm talking about when we get to that step. We've now removed the bracket from the ditch light, so we're going to be using these brackets to put on my actual fog lights. So we need to now remove this factory fog light bracket from Dynamics so we can transfer on the ditch light bracket, which is going to sit there. You guys will see. Like I was telling you guys, this bracket fits in the actual factory bumper perfectly, but for me, what I wanted to do is use the ditch light brackets just to make it a little bit more secure. Since this is plastic, I kind of felt if we inserted it that way, it might break over time, and since this is like aluminum, this will kind of hold off a lot better. So now what we need to do is just grab our brand new fog light and insert it here, tighten it down. As you guys can tell, the orientation of this, so the bracket is facing forward, and then of course that harness is downwards right there, and this is basically it. So this one right here is going to be our passenger side. As you can tell, this side has the lip, the other side doesn't, so that's how we know, and the harness is downwards. So now all we got to do is, like I said, you see these bolts here, those are going to be in this bracket there. It's going to sit in that place, and then all we have to do is of course adjust it, and it'll look like that. Bracket goes into place super easy, so that makes it for a lot better, easier install. So just like that, now we just got to tighten those down. Those bolts came with my Dynamics brackets, so we're just kind of reusing hardware here. And the cool thing about these ditch light brackets is it makes it a little bit more adjustable, so I can go either further forward, further back, and of course the height I can go up and down. That's another reason we wanted to use these brackets, not only for it being more sturdy, but for adjustability. As you can tell, we can turn it any way we want as well. Now that we finished up the fog lights, up next we're going to need to install the bracket that's going to be for the light bar. Like I said, I don't have it today. We're not installing that today, but we're going to be installing the bracket just so it's a little easier for us next time when the light bar comes in, we can just slide it in. So what you need to do with that, it does come provided. It's going to be with these two brackets here and the hardware. So you're going to notice on one side it has like a cutout like that. On the other side, it's going to have 2 holes. It's going to come with these type of screws. You're going to want to go ahead and grab 4 of them, 2 and 2, and then you're going to want to go ahead and grab 4 of these locking nuts. It's going to be 2 and 2. So the way you know the orientation is the cutout side is actually going to go towards the inside like that, and then the 2 little holes are going to be towards this plate that's right here. Screws are going to go in right through there. You guys will see. And then of course the other side will go like that. Bracket is now in, the bolts are through, and then nuts are on this side. So all we need to do is now tighten it down onto this plate. We'll finish up that side and then we'll move on to the next. So now that we have the whole bumper set up, everything is good to go. Up next, we're gonna go ahead and now finally mount it onto the truck. One thing we did want to let you guys know, if you remember the nuts that you guys did take off from here, as you guys can tell, they're right here in hand. These are the ones that were on the crossbar, and same thing for that side, they're right there. We're gonna be utilizing those. So me on the outside, I'm gonna grab 2 of these bad boys here. While Jerry has the bumper, he's gonna go ahead and bring it over. I'm gonna tighten it down by hand, 2 here, which are gonna be the outer ones, and then I'll go on that side and do the same thing, do the 2 outers, and then we'll go from there. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Let me go ahead and put you guys down.
JesseRizo is here for you. It's here for you, Like I said, it's super simple. Please feel free to subscribe.
Now it's pre-mounted. Of course, it's still not installed properly. We just kind of mounted it on top. Let me show you guys what I did. So while he put it in place, I put the nuts that go here. As you guys can see, 1 nut there, 1 there. It's just held in by hand. All I did was twist it by hand. And then looking on this side, same thing. I just did it by hand. So there's 1 there, and then there's 1 there. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step, but it's already looking freaking awesome. I'll give you guys a better look once we're done. All right, so of course we still haven't tightened down the bumper. I just wanted to let you guys know. Don't forget to, of course, connect your fog lights. Cool thing about this, while we barely connected them, is because you can have access back here to go ahead and connect them. So as you can tell, we've already connected it. That one's good. That one's on, and then looking on this side, same thing, that one's on. There's that. So up next, what you're gonna wanna go ahead and do, inside there's gonna be that bag there full of hardware, washers, and nuts. So you're gonna wanna go ahead and see inside there's gonna be 2 of these gold bolts. Go ahead and grab 1 of them for now. And then you're gonna wanna go ahead and put 1 of the washers onto it. And then up next, you're gonna wanna go ahead and grab a washer and 1 of these nuts. And then what we're gonna be using is 3 more of these washers that come provided. There's gonna be a bunch in the baggie. These are kind of used as spacers. I'll show you guys why. So basically, the washer and the nut is gonna go right here. So looking inside, here's the channel there. So the washer and the nut are actually gonna go inside, similar, something like that. And then in between here is gonna go the extra washers, which is gonna act as a spacer. So something like that. And then you're gonna grab the bolt and the washer, and that's gonna go from the bottom here upwards, and then you'll tighten it down. What that's used for, these hardware here that we're gonna be using, that's actually used for the height on the bumper. So as you can tell, right now there's a gap. So depending on how much spacers you put there, meaning washers, that's where you can kind of adjust it. So like I said, for us, we're gonna be using 3. That's gonna act as the spacer. And we're gonna lift it, tighten it down, and see where it fits. We're gonna try to get it as flush as possible so we don't have that gap there. So now that we showed you guys, let's keep going. As you can tell, so he's tightened it down. There's the nut, and then there's the bolt, and there's the spacer washers. As you can tell, now we don't have that gap anymore. So there's a small little gap. Only reason why we left it like that is because over time, we don't want this thing to end up breaking, the bumper cap, and we don't want it to scratch the paint. Then it's gonna start rusting, and of course, we don't want that. We've left a slight gap, as you guys can see, but it looks so much cleaner. So now that we've finished this side, we're gonna go ahead and now move on to the opposite side, which is what Jerry's doing right now. As you can tell, now everything's tightened down. It looks freaking awesome. Up next, what we're gonna do is now finally tighten these 2 right here, which are the first ones we put by hand. We're gonna tighten them down nice and snug, so that way the bumper kind of sits back in its position where it should be. And then after that, we'll be starting on the reservoir bracket. As you can tell, we still haven't put it on. Now that those are tight, up next, we still have that 3rd bolt that we have to tighten down. That one, you have to go through the hood just like this and tighten it down. Let me try to get a closer look for you guys. In through right here, through the light bar, you can see it, it's right there. So there's one, that silver nut, and then of course looking on the other side right here, you're gonna notice there's that other nut right there. So those are the ones I was telling you guys. It's best if you do it through the hood here by hand. And then after that, you could go ahead and get yourself an extension and tighten them down from the outside, one there, one there. And then now this whole section will be actually tied down 100%. Of course, now we're going to go ahead and start with the reservoir brackets. So both of these do have their own direction, meaning there's a driver's side and a passenger side. So the one for the passenger side, you're going to notice it sits this way, and the bracket is actually facing towards the rear, just like that. And now we're going to go ahead and grab the hardware. Inside the baggie, you're going to have some long gold bolts like that. You're going to have a couple other little gold ones, washers, nuts, and some silver plates just like this. So that's the hardware bag you want to grab. All right, so inside of here, you're going to notice there's an end cap. Break that thing off because that's where the bolt is going to be accessed. And of course, you're going to have some bolts that go through that as well. Alright, so as you can tell, we've now secured the bolts. Up next, what you want to go ahead and do is now grab the hose clamps once again and reinstall your reservoir onto that there. We finished mounting it. As you guys can tell, it looks freaking awesome. Looks great. Looks like it's meant to be there, as you guys can tell. And then, of course, let's go ahead and show you guys from the front right here. Right now, in a little bit, I'll give you guys a better shot, but right now, we're going to go ahead and do the other side. So it's going to be the same exact steps. Of course, you mount the bracket, put the bolts in, tighten it down, go ahead and grab the reservoir, put the hose clamps, and then you're basically done with this install. Make sure to stay tuned because in the future, we're going to be installing a winch right here, and then of course a light bar. So for the CBI Off-Road, it does require you to have a 20-inch light bar. That's why I'm not putting my Dynamics one, because it's a 30-inch. So just so you guys know, just in case you guys are curious. Damn, who does that? Check that out, you guys. Even after the install, he's still washing down the bumper, making it look pretty just like himself. Heck yeah. And he does this all the time. He didn't do it because the camera's here. He was just doing it off camera, decided to record it. Now we finished up the installation. As you guys can tell, it looks freaking awesome. So this does take some time, of course. So as always, like I tell you guys, if you guys do want to go ahead and purchase this product, check it out. It's going to be in the description box below. I'd highly recommend it. CBI Off-Road just actually came out with a brand new bumper, which is their hybrid one. You can check that out. And then of course they have the other ones, which it's half hoop, and there's just different styles out there. Another thing, if you guys are having trouble seeing this video and want someone to actually install it for you, make sure to hit up Jerry. His information is going to be in the description box below. I'm going to go ahead and now let him talk a little bit and just kind of explain what he does here at his shop.
All right, guys, so I'm just going to explain you a little bit of what we do here. Whatever it is, you know, installations, you know, bumpers, I would say all the suspension, you know, custom fabrication. We also fabricate like body armor, you know, sliders, skid plates, bumpers. We do offer any other services. We do all the lighting. Everything is going to be down in the box below. So if you guys ever need anything, just give us a call. You know, we don't answer the phone because we're working over here in the back. Please leave a message and we'll get back to you guys. Shoot us a DM on Instagram or shoot us a text also too. So an email, whatever. You know, we have our website already running. We're going to be there for you guys. Anything else you guys need, just give us a call and peace out.
Heck yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check them out. Just because I know somebody's going to ask if it does obstruct the view, it does not. As you guys can tell, it doesn't even look like I have that front bumper on. Just thought I'd show you guys before I end this video.
JesseRizo is here for you. It's here for you. Na, na, na. Like I said, it's super simple. Please feel free to subscribe.